What's up, guys? We got an Acura MDX. This is the 03 model, but they're all pretty much same. We got a thermostat code. Thermostat is all the way down here. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna remove this cover here, put to the side, and thermostat is over there, all the way down there. So we're gonna have to take off the duct pipe or just work over here a little bit. But other than that, what we're gonna do is we're gonna have to drain the fluid first. So I'm gonna show you guys how to drain, and then we'll do a video on how to drain and fill the transmission on this baby. I'm sorry, the radiator. And let's see how this job goes. So we're gonna go up in the air first. Okay, I'm underneath this Acura. So here's your front plate right here. So if you come straight back, you see this exhaust. What the hell is this? Okay, anyways, you see this little tiny hole? It's made to drop your coolant right from over here. So right from over here, you're not gonna see it, but there's like a little handle there. I'm not sure if you can see it, but there it is. Let me get my light right, and you will see it. There it is. Okay, so you gotta turn that baby and get it loose. But we need to turn that baby somehow, some way. But you can't just go crazy at it. I just want to break it loose a little bit. By breaking, I mean like just the grip of it, so I can turn it by hand. And once I do that, I should be able to turn this baby by hand, and we should start to see antifreeze come down, unless his radiator is completely clogged and it's not gonna allow it. But we need to put a bucket down here first. Okay, since our thermostat is all the way down there, we can take off this air duct pipe here, but usually these will break and crack, they're brittle. So let's take the easiest route possible and the safest at the same time. If it can't be the easiest would be try to put your hands down there. We're gonna take off this 10 millimeter, but this is all connected, all this harness. So what we'll do is I'm gonna eliminate the battery and the tray and everything. So we're gonna take off 10 millimeter. We're gonna loosen up here, loosen up here. Remember, when you're doing this, your radio code most likely is gonna come on, and car's gonna reset all the lights. So if you got any codes, make sure you remove them codes and check them codes first. But anyways, your radio is gonna lock, so make sure you have a code for the radio. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take off this battery first. Okay, so let's loosen that. Let's loosen that, and once we loosen this, these hooks should just come out. Let's put this baby away. I usually try to keep it in the same direction that it's in, so I know which way it goes. So we're gonna loosen this guy. We're gonna loosen this little guy. Let's take off the negative and positive. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this battery. So that's the part you're not gonna see. So just carry this battery and put it on the floor somewhere. And a lot of people say, well, drain your battery, but it's not gonna hurt you for good 20-30 minutes. So let's get this job going. I'm gonna have this battery out, and then you're gonna see a lot of room for me to work on. So far, got the battery out, but that didn't help me much. But we're getting there, okay? So all I need is this tray out. So I took off the 10 millimeter off right here, and then you're gonna have to push on these, and you're gonna have to push these outwards, these little retainers here, and this thing will slip out of the housing here. So you just lift it up, push it to the side. Now I need to fork out all this. So there's two 10 millimeters. One is like over here, one is over here, and this cover should come out. And then, okay, I forgot this one 10 millimeter over here. We're gonna have to remove this little clip all that on here. So I'm using this fork type of tool right here, made by Snap-on. You can pick up some clip removing tools. Okay, like I said, all this stuff is old and brittle, so we don't have a lot of choice, stuff that's gonna break. So we also gotta take this guy off right here. So let's see if let's give it an attempt to remove it properly. Okay, so all you gotta do is squeeze, like same thing like this. You have to pull these. Same thing here. You pull. It's a limited space here, but you pull this up if you can, and you push away, push that off, and that should come off. Other than that, if you don't want to do that, you still can reach the 10 millimeters down there with extension, and then you can just tilt this whole thing. So I'm gonna get some extensions. I got the damn thing off. I pulled that little clip with this, and then I just used my fork to just scrape it off, and it came right off. And one thing, I took off the terminal here, the number 10 here, because the battery was so large, it was just hitting right there. These some extra bolts. I have no clue that I didn't take them off. So let's remove this little cover, and then we got a lot of room to work with the thermostat. Okay, so I got me a long extension, number 10 millimeter socket in the front. That baby comes off. Let me see if I could grab it and save it. There you go. Let's work on the next one. Some of these socket bolts might drop, but it's got a magnet like this. It would come handy. There's another one. We got one last one right over here. Even though you see this much complicated in my video, it's not that complicated. Taking this route is going to be seriously complicated, and you're going to end up breaking something. And there it is. And our cover here. Okay, we got another clip over here, so I'm going to show you this one also. So you see this little guy? That's the same thing I did to the other one. How do you know it was there? Gonna pull this up. Usually the brake is brittle. That's exactly what I wanted. And you're gonna skip it off with this little guy. We got one more clip there, but make sure it doesn't hit the radiator or nothing like that. But we got more than enough room to work on that freaking thermostat, which they put it in hell. So it has one bolt and two bolts, two 10 millimeter bolts, and that's all it got in there. So I don't know whose idea was to put all this over here. So what I'll do is I'll remove, whoop, everything is falling. I'll remove this clip here also, and once this is out, I should completely remove this cover out of here, and I should be able to have a lot of room now. And also I can put this here now. You see how much space I got here now? And that's exactly what I wanted. So you see this little guy? This little guy is gonna bother us. They put a lot of aftermarket clamps on this guy. Nothing we can do but to work around it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take out the 10 millimeter from the bottom, just like this one right here, and one from the top, and let's see how far we can go with this guy. See if I can show you guys the 10 millimeter right down here. There it is. And there's one up here. And that's it. And then the thermostat should come up. So I got my tool on this guy. I'm gonna remove this 10 millimeter from down here. Remember, there's gonna be antifreeze in here. And see a lot of antifreeze, a little bit of antifreeze, but you just let it come down, okay? Because there's not much you could do. We drained as much as possible. Let's see if I can get this all by hand. We'll come back. Okay, so I got the bottom bolt completely loose. I'm turning it by hand. I'm gonna get it out, and I might not be able to get it out completely, but let's see how much I can get off. Okay, my socket came off, but I'm able to turn it by hand. So that's all I'm doing. Turn. The magic of turn. So there's your 10 millimeter bolt from there. Let's save that over here. If you're working on the engine and the engine block is open, you don't want to put nothing up there. For thermostat, it's fine. So we're using a 1/4 inch dry ratchet with about 2 inch long extension and a 10 millimeter socket. And here goes the second bolt. So this thing only has 2 bolts. After this one, you're gonna see a splash everywhere, probably, most likely. Okay, let's see how I'm gonna put my light and everything. Okay, I can see it. The housing opening up already. It's a lot of light. Make everything super bright. Okay. it should be loose pretty much. Not a fan of these clamps, okay? There's a problem. I use these clamps, but there is a serious problem with using these clamps. I'm gonna fold this guy this way so I can work on this side. There you have it. The problem with these are, remember the good old regular clamps, these type, they squeeze as it gets hot, so the pipe gets brittle, it'll grab more. That thing is in one stage, okay? So here goes nothing. And we only have a little bit of antifreeze coming down. That's fine. My camera to go a little bit further in. We're gonna fish it. We're gonna look on the floor first, because I hear drips all over. I had that ready there. So make sure you put something in the bottom. And I'm gonna check the bottom one more time and then we'll come back and finish this out. Okay, I went a little bit dim on the light because we need to get this thermostat out. So I'll push the thermostat housing to the side a little bit. And what we're gonna do next is, so the code we're getting is like maybe the thermostat doesn't open all the way or gets stuck when it opens. So thermostat irrational is the code. So remember how the thermostat goes. It only goes in one direction, okay? Because some cars you can put it wrong way, but if you do put it wrong way, it's gonna probably overheat. But remember that the back end of the thermostat is in that direction. So you're gonna lose a lot of bit of transmission. I'm sorry, the antifreeze. That's fine, long as it goes in your bucket. But we got this baby out of the housing. So let's go look at the new thermostat. Thing you want to do is you want to clean all this before we look at the thermostat. Make sure you clean where the thermostat seal and everything is going to sit there, otherwise you'll have a leaking thermostat. So remember, there's a seal here. Okay, one more thing I want to pinpoint is, you see that little valve here? That's a self-bleeding valve. Usually it's always on the top, so make sure you put that up facing to the top. So make sure you put your thermostat housing seal in the same direction. This little guy is up on the top, so it goes into that little groove right there. And hopefully you guys can see that. There's a little groove right there for the seal to go to. So make sure you route this and this little valve I'm talking about. Make sure it's in the same spot. So we're gonna get the new thermostat and the housing. And okay, so we're using a Bacardi thermostat. There's the part number. Also Bacardi seal, good stuff. Don't try to put the cheap stuff in here. And 0390115. And what we got in here is, let me see if I can get this guy out with one hand. And you're always gonna have to put a new seal. Okay, don't try to use the old seal. So I'm gonna let this sit here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this seal. It's the same seal like that one. I'm gonna put it onto that little guy, and then I'll show you. So here's our thermostat with the new seal. The little notches on the top, and the bleeder valve is right there. So remember, same direction. This has got to go up, okay? It can be a little bit off here, there, it doesn't matter, but long as it's on the top. So we're gonna take this little guy, and this guy is gonna sit right where it's supposed to. Shouldn't be a big deal to put this guy in. So let me just have it sitting, and then I'll show you guys. It's only gonna go one way, and the seal doesn't have backside front, so either way, long as it's aligned, it's like a universal seal. So there's our thermostat, and I'm gonna make sure it's nice and good, and then we'll put the cover on the housing. So we got that guy in. Next step, this is gonna bother us again one more time. I'm gonna tell you guys this little cover here. So make sure your thermostat doesn't come out of the housing, and this side is usually nice and clean, and all we need to do is take our bolt, and where's our socket? Where did it go? Oh, it's here. So we're gonna take this little guy. So make sure you catch all the threads on both of the bolts, just like that. And I'm gonna do the bottom one too, and I'm gonna lock up. And from here on, everything is a reverse procedure. So make sure both bolts are in, nice and tight. Make sure you put the tray here. Make sure you put the clips in. Make Make sure you put the battery in, tighten everything up. Remember, your radio is going to be on, active and everything. And then we will come back and finish up the video by putting the antifreeze. So our thermostat is locked in. Make sure everything is back in place. Nothing is loose. So there's the antifreeze all over. What you can do there is take a small little cup with the warm water. Don't throw nothing on these connectors. Just slightly drop it right where thermostat house leaked from right here. So that way it goes all around and then it dilutes the antifreeze. Usually what I do is I take a rag and I clean it up as much as I can, okay? That's all I do. You will see smoke regardless which way, which route you take to clean it, this way, that way. And I try to do my best there. So I'm gonna clean a little bit more, but I'm gonna close everything up after that. I don't have a hot water in this shop. I mean, I do got it, but I don't usually proceed with that. I try to clean it with the rag as much as possible. So one more thing I want to state is that if you're getting the code for this thermostat rational code, you can also tackle this coolant temperature sensor right there, okay? That coolant sensor also can be one of the reasons. Thermostat or that, either or, okay? So it's your choice. I would knock them both out, but customer always wants to take the cheapest route. So this was our educated guess number one. Together along with that, I would just change them both, but it is what it is. Anyways, I'm gonna finish up the job and then we'll continue feeding antifreeze to the system, and then we'll let the car run for a little while and you will see the fan cycle. Once you've seen fans have cycled a few times, drive it around for 10 minutes, come back, let the car cool off, top of your antifreeze in the radiator and the reservoir. Close everything back up, go for a spin again, and then do it twice. Have 2 cycles come on so that way the thermostat opens and closes, opens and closes, opens and closes. That's how the fans cycle of the fan is. Every time that thermostat opens, releases the hot antifreeze. The fans would have to kick in again and again. That's how you know the antifreeze has traveled all around. It's a self-bleeding system, so there's no need to bleed anything. Just top off everything, but just make sure you double check it, triple check it, and we'll continue with that. So here we are. This time I want to show you guys inside here. So I got the other half a gallon. Usually it's the same as that gallon. Usually when I do flushes, drain and fills, you always have some left behind. So we're gonna take a look inside now, and we're gonna fill it. See that? There you go. Once you say if you put too much in there, that's fine. You're gonna spill some around here, but you will see smoke. But now we're gonna leave it there. I'm gonna top off your the reservoir. The reservoir is this bottle right here. So go halfway, fill it halfway, and leave it there. All you do is you turn this little guy, and you could see the marking here, okay? And this thing is empty pretty much, so we're gonna fill it up. How did I know it was empty? I'm gonna show you guys right now. So that should be more than enough. How did you know it's empty? Because you see this? The pipe is not soaked, and now it will be soaked. Okay, so it's getting soaked. We're gonna leave it there, and now I'm gonna start up the car and we will let it warm up a bit. Okay, now remember this little guy, we leave it right here. So we're gonna close it. Always inspect your cap also. So we're gonna close this guy up and try to put original cap, okay? Aftermarket is 10 bucks. You might get the original one for 20 bucks, 25 bucks, 30 bucks, but it's worth it. So now, only thing I need to do is, I did take off the cover to change the thermostat, so check that video out, and I will finish that at that. So we're gonna see smoke, that's fine. So we're gonna start up the car, we're gonna go inside.